Hi everyone, my name is Priyanka and welcome to my vlog. Today I'm going to talk about how you need to start believing in yourself. Now, the first thing you'll notice about your habits is that whenever you wake up, you have a very, very bad habit, and that is you start scrolling through that phone of yours. The instant you wake up, you're going through that phone of yours, and when you're going through that phone of yours, you are creating a lots of thoughts that are absolutely unnecessary in that mind of yours. Now, what is happening is that you're thinking in three different areas. One is your past, because the moment you open up your phone, you're looking at the WhatsApp messages, and there are some people in that group of yours, or let's say some relatives, who are messaging you, and you really don't like them. You don't like how they treated you. So, a lot of past memories are popping up in that mind of yours. Then you see some emails coming in from your co workers, and then you start worrying about your present situation, what all you have to do in that day. It starts troubling you. And then comes the future in terms of looking at Instagram accounts that are absolutely fake. They are showing a fake life, but you want your life to absolutely mimic theirs. And what is happening is the moment you look at all of these Instagram accounts, you're feeling depressed. So you're starting your day on a note of sadness, depression, anxiety, a lot of regret. And now you want to start believing in yourself. You want to motivate yourself. That's not going to happen, because you are starting your day in a very wrong manner. So, as long as you're starting your day on these three things, that is your past, your present, and your future, you will never be able to do anything that motivates you, because all of these things are causing a lot of anxiety in your mind, and that anxiety is stopping you from doing anything. Your body tells you, today is not the day that I want to do this hard work, because the body is remembering whatever it went through. Now, in terms of emotions, because you have a lot of emotions that you have kept hidden or buried deep within your heart, and your mind is just processing those emotions without really thinking whether they are required in your life or not. A lot of emotional baggage that you've not worked upon. So, what is happening is that you are just creating a lot of stress and anxiety in this life of yours. And then through that stress and anxiety, if you start telling yourself, I need to believe in myself, I really need to believe in myself to get to that dream life, it's not going to happen, because what you require is a reprogramming of that mind of yours. And until unless you reprogram that mind of yours, you will never believe in yourself, because belief comes in from an area of faith. You need to start having faith in yourself, but you have a lot of information that you're gathering from outside sources, and that is the reason why you are spending a lot of time in your past. So 90 times you're thinking, I'm not putting a percentage, so let's say out of 100, 90 times you're spending just thinking about that past of yours, about the people, about how you were treated. And one part is being spent on the present. We hardly stay in the present moment, because we're doing almost everything like a robot, dropping off our children to school like a robot, going to our office like a robot, even sometimes talking to people like a robot, or scrolling through reels like a robot. So we are doing things on repeat. So what is happening is you're really not paying attention to the present moment. We are not here in the now. That future takes about nine uh, parts of your thought process. So you are always thinking about that future that has not come, right? Future is something that's going to happen to you, but you are always thinking from a point of anxiety and stress, because 90 times you're only thinking about that past, and you are now reflecting that past onto your future. And that is why you really cannot build yourself up, because you have been creating some really, really bad thought process in your mind. Whenever we have a lot of self-doubt creeping in, when we stop believing in ourselves, what are we doing is that we are weighing down what is working for us and what is really not working for us. And most times you will find that you're paying attention to this part which is not working for you rather than what is working for you. You start paying attention to the faulty things in your life, faulty relationships, lack of discipline, or the whole idea of you that you've built around from the feedback that you're getting from others. So you're paying attention to those areas of your life which are really not working for you rather than paying attention to the things that are working out for you. Let's say you have one person in your life that's really supporting you. You don't pay attention to that person, rather you pay attention to the 10 other people that are telling you that you're a failure. And that is why you're having a lot of self doubt. In fact, you stop believing in yourself, you stop working for those dreams of yours, because for you, success is something that comes to others and not to you, because you have branded yourself as a lazy, not disciplined person. Rather, it's everything going on in this mind of yours. Actually, you just have a lot of thought process that's paying attention to the idea that things are not going to work for you, because you lack so many things in this life of yours. You don't pay attention to what you have in this life of yours. If you start paying attention to the things that you have in this life of yours, this life is going to become better for you. But we don't do that. We never pay attention to the great things that we have in this life of ours. We don't become grateful, uh, even for our health, or let's say finances. Let's say we don't have a lot of money, but we have enough money to at least give us a comfortable life, and we want to earn a little bit more money than just the comfort. We want to add in luxury now to our lifestyle. But we are just cribbing. We are just saying to ourselves, oh, I don't have enough money. Or let's say you start paying attention to your lack of relationships, because you always tell yourself, I don't find the right people. Rather than finding the right people, you should try and find yourself. Once you do that, you'll have a lot of clarity on the kind of people you want in your life. Right now, you are clueless about your own self. You don't know what kind of person you want to settle down with, and whether you want to settle down or not. You are absolutely confused. You're in that stage of life where you don't know what you want to do in that career of yours, also. And so you just start cribbing and start blaming this world. You start saying, oh, everything is so difficult for me, nothing works for me. There are people who are very lucky, they find the right careers, then they find the right people to settle down with, and their life is so good. But actually what's happening is they are paying attention to their internal state of mind, they are paying attention to their thought process, they are absolutely working on themselves, rather than sitting down and waiting for something to happen to them, waiting for that miracle to happen to them. They are paying attention to their thought process. They are reevaluating whatever they're thinking, and because they're able to reevaluate whatever they're thinking, they're able to change that path. But you're stuck on a path that is really not working out for you. You are confused, you are in absolute doubt, you don't know where you want to go in this life of yours, because you don't want to sit down even for 15 minutes and have a straight conversation with yourself. Ask yourself every day when you wake up, what do I need to do? What action do I need to take to focus more on my dreams? Maybe I need to read more books. Maybe I need to go out there and interact with like minded people. But you don't do that. You never pay attention to the actions that you need to take. Rather, you pay attention to the lack of things that are happening in this life of yours. And that is the reason why you need to shift your focus to the things that are working out for you. And that is when you will find that you will start believing in yourself, because without action, what is happening is you are just perpetuating that fear of yours. You're just sitting idle and thinking a lot of thoughts, and because you're thinking a lot of thoughts, you're increasing that anxiety level in your life and that stress in your life, and then you start fearing everything. See, fear is always going to be there in this life of yours. Fear is part of a human psyche. We fear things and then we learn to overcome those fears. You might just say, no, no, somebody who's very, very conscious will have no fear. No, a person who's conscious will find what kind of fear they have, and they will work upon their fears. They will start facing their fears, because they know that at the end of the day, whenever they take that action to overcome that fear of theirs, things will get better. So they have that belief system, but you don't have that belief system in you right now. You don't want to face your fears. You don't want to work upon your fears. You don't want to even acknowledge the fears that you have in this mind of yours. You start facing those fears of yours. What is going to happen is your belief system in you is going to increase. You have to increase that level of belief system. Right now, that level is right below zero. It's a negative because you're not facing your fears. And once you start facing those fears, what's going to happen is you're going to change that narrative. Because once you face those fears, let's say you have a fear of speaking in public, and suddenly you start practicing speaking in public. Maybe at first you really don't do well, and then let's say by 11th time or 12th time you start noticing that you're doing better, and you are facing that fear of yours of public speaking. What's going to happen is now you are going to develop that belief system that I can actually talk in public. I don't have a fear anymore. And that is how you overcome those fears, by increasing your belief system. It doesn't happen overnight. Everyone is so impatient these days. They expect things to happen instantly. You can get a delivery at your home instantly, but for the rest of the things, it takes time. So let's say you see a tree. Uh, let's say you pick up a mango tree. Do you know how long it takes for a mango tree to bear a fruit? It takes almost 5 years. But the tree is not complaining, it's just working constantly, growing itself and nurturing itself, because it knows at the end of 5 years it's going to bear the most sweetest of fruit. And that is what you need to also understand about your life, that sometimes some things take a lot of time. And whenever we are faced with doubt, we stop believing in ourselves, we have to understand that we are losing our patience. And you'll get a lot of feedback from people who will tell you that, why is it taking so much of time? They're going to ask you questions, especially if you are surrounding yourself with really toxic people, I can say, or people who fear a lot in their own life. They have developed this habit of fearing everything. What's going to happen is these people are going to ask you a lot of questions, and then you are going to start creating that self doubt in that mind of yours, because you don't trust in the timing of the universe. See, you are on a path, and it's going to take a lot of sacrifice. It's not going to be easy. No one said it's going to be easy. It requires patience in life. And if you don't want to cultivate this habit of patience, you will always end up doubting yourself. The gestation period, let's say, even for a child, it takes 9 months now. As parents, or even as a mother, I can say that, you cannot hurry up the process. You cannot say to Mother Nature that, I'm going to deliver in 4 months. It doesn't happen that way. And when you look at nature and when you see that everything takes a lot of time, why don't you learn from that? Why don't you learn a little bit of patience in this life of yours? Being disciplined is something that you need to start teaching yourself. That discipline, that patience, you need to teach yourself, because no one is going to teach you. You need to understand that without patience and without discipline, that belief system of yours is going to come crashing down, because that belief system is dependent on timing. And sometimes, as I said, timing doesn't really work in your favor. So, when timing is not working in your favor, you need to teach yourself to be disciplined. Do not think about what is not working out for you. As I said, start paying attention to what is working out for you, even if it's a very small, minuscule thing that's working out for you. Start paying attention to that and believe that your timing is going to come, but you have to really go through that path. You have to go through that hardship, because without that hardship, no success is coming your way. Do you know why we fail miserably in this life of ours? Is because we base our idea of who we are from this external environment of ours. Now, this external environment of ours consists of a lot of toxic people, people who fear life itself, who fear action, who have lacked courage throughout their life. They are never going to work upon themselves. And now we are surrounded by such people. We are surrounded by toxic people at work, at home, and even some toxic friends. And what is happening is that we are basing our life on them, and we are basing our decisions on them because they influence us. They are the biggest influencers in this life of ours. We don't get so much influenced by Instagram or YouTube, to an extent, yes, but major decisions of ours are actually coming in from the people we surround ourselves with. And these are immediate family members. And what is happening is that they are giving us a feedback about how we're doing in life. They are telling us where we are lacking. They never encourage us, and they give us a basic idea, a very floating idea of how badly we are doing in this life of ours, how our decisions are really, really poor. So now we start changing our decisions to please them, to appease them actually. And we start working on a path that is not meant for us. We start choosing careers and partners in this life of ours just to appease them, because they are angry, they're frustrated, they're irritated at us, and we want to balance out our home front or our work front. And so we start basing those decisions on such people, and at the end we end up suffering a lot because we stop believing in ourselves. We start losing faith in our own decision making. But if you want to really take on this life of yours, if you want to lead this life of yours on your own terms, you will have to take some really harsh decisions. And the first decision of yours should be that you start saying no to people, no to ideas that don't work in your favor, that don't work in your benefit. If you have a great talent, if you're very, very talented, don't let go to waste that talent of yours, because at the end of the day, it is you who has to answer for yourself. When you reach a certain age, you will look back and say to yourself, why didn't I do that? And then it's going to dawn upon you that you really lacked some belief, just a little bit of belief. If you had in yourself, you would not have taken the path that you're on right now. So if you want to change yourself, if you want to improve your life, if you want to start believing in yourself, you have to start saying no to that external environment of yours, because at the end of the day, that external environment is not going to benefit you much. You can take in a lot of advice, but how many times do we really see that advice working in our favor? What you need to understand is that you can control your emotional state. First of all, you need to identify what emotional state that you're in. And once you identify what emotional state you're in, you can stabilize that emotional state. So if you are understanding that you're reacting too much to this person, too much to this external environment, you stop reacting, because you know that at the end of the day, if you keep on working on repeat, or keep on taking actions on repeat, you're going to build a good habit, and then you're going to start seeing the results of those good habits in this life of yours, and you don't need to depend on the feedback or reaction that you're getting from others. So stop reacting to people, stop negating yourself, stop uh, pulling yourself down to their level, because a lot of people will come and poke you and tell you, this is not working out for you. And that is when you need to understand that if you're aware of the emotional state that you're in, you can handle these people, you can handle the feedback that's coming from them. So for years and years, you've been negating yourself, you have been pulling yourself down, because you take that feedback and then you tell yourself, it's not possible for me, I cannot do this. So to change the narrative in your own mind, you have to stop taking in feedback from a lot of people. And whenever we are thinking, we need to understand where is our thought process leading us, in which direction. Because what is happening is that most times we do a lot of aimless thinking, and that aimless thinking doesn't benefit us, it just tires us. And in a way, we can say that we overthink a lot, And sometimes we don't even know that we are overthinking, not paying attention to the direction in which your thoughts are going. So if you are doing something in this life of yours that needs a lot of focus and attention, then you need to start paying attention to that thought process of yours and understand where is it going. If it's going too much into the past, you have to stop it right there. You talk about stabilizing that thought process of ours. Now what happens is that most times we have unstable thoughts. We have thoughts that are based on fear, and we are unable to cope with that fear or that anxiety that we have built in this life of ours. So if you're having a lot of fear and anxiety, you need to work upon that fear and anxiety of yours, and the only way you can work upon those anxiety and fears is, as I said, you start taking actions in your life, small little baby steps to overcome those fears. And that is when you will start increasing that belief system that you have in yourself. So you need to understand how you need to stabilize those fears of yours, that thought process of yours, because until unless you reach a stable ground, you'll always have a lot of self doubts. Whenever you're having a lot of ideas coming to you, you need to understand that because you are now based on a stable ground, you can delete some very, very old ideas that do not work for you, ideas that you picked up from other people, and you can start creating new ideas about your own self, about your own abilities. We don't pay attention to our own abilities. Most times we just tell ourselves that I cannot do this. I am not able to do this because I lack so many things. I don't have self discipline, I don't have the right knowledge, or I don't have the right skill sets. So, that is where we are going to develop our skill sets. We're going to take some really great actions in this life of ours. So you need to know that rather than wasting time sitting and getting ideas from people who have never done anything in this life of theirs, or who are not sitting on a stable ground, you need to work upon yourself. You can either take membership of a library, or you can start meeting people who are in your own field, or let's say you can just work upon your own mental well-being and get some fresh new ideas in that mind of yours. Because until you do that, how are you going to increase the self-worth of yours? It is not going to come from others. It is only going to come when you start paying attention to your own self, and you start valuing yourself and deleting the ideas that have been fed to you for so long. Because if you keep on paying attention to the ideas that have been fed to you, you will simply lose that balance. You will stop believing in yourself. So if you want to increase that self-worth, if you want to start believing in yourself, you have to bring in some fresh new ideas, and that can only come when you start working upon yourself. And I hope you like this vlog. If you like this vlog, do like, share and subscribe and comment down below. And thank you for watching, and see you with the next one.